I'll find a way. Haha! It says Washington. You just don't know what the front says. You can say football team, you can say skins. You don't know. Like I told you, I found a way. As for Washington Commanders, I think they've lost their way. Hey everybody, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic, and welcome back. We are concluding the NFC East by talking about the Washington Commander, a team that went bad. For some reason, the Sam Howell experiment I thought was going to be better. Statistically, he was good. I mean, there were games where he actually, competed well. But then when he started getting rid of Sweat and Chase Young, I felt like, all right, they gave up. They gave up. They're done. They gave up. They gave up. They gave up. I'm the head coach and I should give up too. But I'm not going to do that. So I feel like that was the Washington. They gave up. And they also gave up, Dan Snyder. So he's gone. So maybe it's a better world for Washington now. So I thought there'll be at least a 7-win team. I didn't think they were going to be competitive. But I thought with that defense, I'm a defensive guy, they were going to be, they were going to keep the team involved. And Sam Howell didn't play that bad. Seriously, I know it's weird to think, but Sam Howell, stats-wise during the season, he nearly threw for 4,000 yards. That's pretty impressive for your first-year starter. Granted, he did throw 21 interceptions and 21 touchdowns. So yeah, that was also not a good thing. But man, 4-13. Ugh. You thought the Giant video was tough. This is gonna be tougher. Young is gone. Chase Young is gone. Your second overall pick, which I thought he was a beast. Then I guess injuries plagued him. He went to San Francisco, went to Super with them, and now he's with the Saints, but he has like a neck procedure going into, so ugh. Any football player, when they hear the word neck anything, I always just kind of like hold my breath going, okay, hopefully it's nothing too serious. There's a few injuries in sports that when you hear it, you just go, what do you mean by necks? What do you mean by neck injury? What do you mean? Tell me. I want to know. So, he's still a very young man. I'm sure the trajectory of his career was not the way he wanted to go to. I honestly thought he was going to be kind of like what Julius Pepper was in his early career in Carolina, where he was just a man among boys, just dominating. But sadly, it's not felt that way, and I always feel like, he'll be serviceable. I think he'll be fine, but that's what we're talking about. Young, we're talking about the old Commanders. Let's go to their best game, and trust me, it is hard. They beat the Cardinals and the Broncos. That's week 1 and 2. I don't do the first 4 weeks. So I went down and looked and realized you literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You end the season on an 8-game losing streak. You won 2 games in the first 4 weeks. You won 4 games this season. Your best game is week 9 versus New England. I know, I'm disappointed too. Maybe the Falcon game, but I didn't think the Falcons... New England, man, I'm sorry. New England, your 2017 win at New England. Yay. You would have been 4-5. You're 1 game away from 500. But the worst part about it, it also be viewed as your worst game because that's the last time you guys won a game. It wasn't a great game either. We're really watching 2 quarterbacks in situations where it's like, I thought they'd be better. Me too. New England was 2-7. Or 2-6, but then became 2-7 in the game. So, like I said, it's hard. It is hard to find a best game or a positive spin on a team that is really, really bad. But I really feel like Sam Howell was his first year, statistically, you at least can say, but now it's no longer his command. He literally got told saying, "You're not the captain anymore." So Sam Howell is no longer, and we all know that it's now literally a coin flip from Drake May, Jaden Daniels. There are some thoughts that they will let like a team trade up, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. It's the NFL draft. People do incredibly stupid things, but I think we all can say that it's gonna be a quarterback. I think it's gonna be between Daniels and May. Um, Quick little side tip about the draft. I always feel that with the year that Baker Mayfield got drafted, the same year that they had that Sam Darnold in and Josh Rosen and all that, there was always that feeling of it was going to be Sam Darnold. It's going to be Sam Darnold. It's going to be Sam Darnold. Like they felt confident it was going to be Sam Darnold. Like they were sure of it. But Baker went first overall to Cleveland. And as of right now, I think Baker might be the only one that has a decent career. I mean, then again, Sam Darnold is with the Vikings, and we'll see what the Vikings do. I mean, there's mock drafts saying that the Vikings are going to trade up and get J.J. McCarthy from Michigan. We'll see. The draft is crazy, and it kind of showcases people's desperation at times. So, with back to Washington, I feel like Jaden Daniels seems appropriate. I mean, Caleb Williams won the Heisman, so you cannot say, well, he won the Heisman, he should go first. Caleb Williams won the Heisman too. So, okay. Now, Jaden Daniels reminded me of Teddy Bridgewater in his frame. I mean, I look at the guy and I'm like, ooh, I get Teddy Bridgewater vibes. I get Teddy Bridgewater vibes so bad. He looks so skinny. And I'm just worried that, I mean, we're having defensive players that are coming in at like 6'3", 275. They run a 4.6, and they bench press literally a Mustang with their teeth. And they run like cheetahs. I mean, you saw what Micah Parsons has done to quarterbacks to the point where you literally have to watch where number 11 is every time. Do you want that type of defensive player? He's going to go to Washington, where he's going to have pass rushers from the Giants. He's going to have pass rushers from the Cowboys. And Philadelphia, we'll see. But he's going to have against dominant young pass rushers in his own division. But he's mobile. Yeah, he's mobile. And I have defended mobile quarterbacks who utilize their talents. But who is he going to have to throw the ball to? That's my side tangent about the potential future quarterback. Drake May remind me of Mitch Trubisky. A little bit of like, who? Huh. That's really got the attention. I mean, his name got the attention, but the same way that Daniel Jones got the attention, that Mitch Trubisky got attention. It's kind of like, they haven't really done anything attention-seeking in their programs. So, they got coached by a famous person who coached another famous. Okay. But does that always translate? Does it? I don't think it does. So, you need a quarterback, that's for sure. But who are you trying to throw the ball to? Your defense is gutted. You literally build a top-tier defense with Ohio State and Alabama players, and you gutted it. So, your worst game, Week 13 versus Miami. I think that was just... Wait, was it Week 13? Yeah, Week 13 versus Miami. You lost to Dallas by giving up 45 points. You gave up 45 points to Miami the next week. Now, the reason why I probably put this one worse than the Dallas game is there was never a feeling that Dallas was going to lose to you, so therefore it can be the worst one. And the Miami one was just, I mean, it was... Sam Howell had less than 150 yards passing, interceptions, 406 yards of offense given by the defense. You can put the Dallas game here too, but I went Miami mainly for the sake of I'm just changing it up a little bit. I mean, yeah, you guys were at Dallas the week before. I think it was the Thanksgiving game too. So then you went to Miami. You're at home against Miami, thinking that We're at home, guys. We're against Miami. Still yikes, but let's see what we can do. And then you got to give up another 45 to that team. So maybe that's the worst game because of it. There's a lot of bad games here, but to me, that's the worst game. You give up a 45 burger. That wasn't a division foe, but it just felt. I mean, let's take a quick little peek at the Dallas game. 45-10. But at one point, it was It was 20-10 at halftime. It was 14-10. The game seemed closer. The Miami never felt that close. I mean, you guys had 376 yards of offense versus Dallas 431. You had 30. You almost had like 10 minutes plus more of time percent. 36 minutes versus Dallas's 23. So maybe that's probably one with Miami because statistically it looked worse than just the scoreboard. And you guys are at home. Sometimes maybe a home blowout loss seems a little bit more embarrassing because you literally are embarrassing yourself, but also you're embarrassing your fan base that's watching you. So you're like, my bad. Sorry. I know some of you probably only have one ticket a year to come to our games, and the one game you did come to, it was this bad, so my bad. Sorry. Maybe that's the reason. But the Dallas, I don't know, it just felt like you lost to Dallas. So did the Giants. So did Philadelphia. I mean, maybe I just got bored. Maybe I just got really bored. It's like, I need to find someone else besides saying, oh, your loss to Dallas was your worst game. Because everyone else that lost to Dallas is their worst game. The Giants, the Eagles. So Miami definitely is your worst game. Now, your MVP. This one was interesting in regards to no one really felt like MVP. You are clearly the best player on the team. It felt a little bit more like who was consistently still doing their job, even though they're literally under the reins of a new quarterback, and that's going to be Mr. Scary Terry McLaurin, the wide receiver. This guy just got over 1,000 yards receiving. He clearly had the most attention towards him. Only 4 touchdowns, but Terry reminded in the same regard of what Mike Evans did early in his career, where he literally had, Winston, McCow, Fitzpatrick, Brady, now Mayfield, that he never had consistently the greatest quarterbacks ever. Even Tom Brady, you can make the argument that he got Tom Brady at the end of his career. It wasn't like he got Tom Brady in his prime either. And Evans is still crushing 1,000 yards. So Terry is doing his job and still representing himself as this is the reason why I'm the best player on this team, offensively anyway. And that's probably why I picked him. This guy comes to work and does his job well. And he's proven himself well. But the sad thing is, looking at the other players on the team, I mean, not sorry. I mean, I know they're going to get a quarterback, but I feel like don't skip out on an offensive weapon for whoever your quarterback is. Because Terry is great, but I guarantee you, if you have another receiver that can get some attention, Terry will be better when he realizes that instead of getting double teamed, I'm getting man-to-man coverage, and I can beat the man-to-man coverage, and I can beat him in the zone, while the other young rookie receiver is going nuts. Well, the attention. So, whatever you guys decide to do, that's where I'll pick. Grade F. F. It's like that hat. It's just an F. It's just bad. Not only was it bad, but during the season, you literally took a scalpel and you already started cutting off the fat of players. A lot of players that were high draft picks, top picks, and you just said, screw it. So therefore, the rest of the team, you literally took out their best defensive, weapon-minded players, gone. Now you got Dan Quinn, who's coming to a team realizing, wait, what happened to the defensive player? What happened to Sweat? What happened to Young? Those are the defensive players that I was expecting to have. And he knew that before that anyway. But it just feels like, so the defensive-minded coach, you literally took away defensive players in a division was going to have Hurts and Prescott. And you know he's a quarterback first. He's going quarterback first. But then what? How are you going to build up that defense? How are you going to build up the offense? I mean, there's a lot of questions that I feel like don't expect Dan Quinn to pull off a miracle, man. I do not see him doing it. I want him to, but I just don't see it, guys. I'm sorry. I really, really am sorry. your team took such a step back that I can't even say this is a rebuild. This might really need to be like not a rebuild, but like a rebirth. Like we need to kill the Phoenix and resurrect it again. But that was gonna take time. So Washington it sucks, man. It really does suck. So when you get to quarterback is, I mean, I don't know. I like to go defense, especially pass rusher. But I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. Are you gonna trade more in the draft? I don't know. But we all know you need a quarterback. But the rest of the time, I don't know. I don't know. Get an offensive weapon to your new quarterback, or get your defense back up because Dan Quinn likes sacking quarterbacks. Wow. Talk about being in a bad spot. And also kind of bad for the quarterback. You're literally going to a team that's already gutted. Kind of like what happened to Tua when he went to Miami. A lot of the players are already gutted. So they give them all away to get you. So, yeah, this video talk long enough. So, that is the Washington Commanders. That was the NFC East. We are done. We are now moving down the line. And to my knowledge, the next division that lost. Let me see. The West didn't lose. The West didn't. I'm going to skip the South and go back to the East. So from the NFC East, we're going to go to the AFC East. And we're going to start off with the biggest controversy ever. The Jets. That's right. We'll start the AFC East with the Jets. Ha, 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 ha. See you then. Until then, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic. Thank you very much for watching.